Hello and welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast, the Golden Nugget Podcast. I'm your best friend, Anna, and your host, accompanied by some very special people. I know we call everybody on the podcast best friends, but they are some of our best friends. First, I'll introduce our favorite peanut, Enoch.
What's up?
I'm glad to be back. I've never called you peanut, like publicly.
Not publicly. That's different.
I do call him that.
They're gonna take that now.
Yeah, you can now start calling him peanut.
I'm getting like tangled up.
Okay, you okay?
Yeah.
You showing off your new shoes?
Yeah, you guys like it? I'm just like, I'm tangled up.
Guys, I feel like we've been on a tour with this podcast because last week's episode was in Atlanta. The week before was in Nashville. And we're just going worldwide.
We're coming to a city near you.
But we're in Florida, actually on vacation with some of our best friends, Connar and Aaron.
Woo! Bob the tomato.
Honestly, okay, Aaron's saying that because he is so sunburned. Yeah. Right now, it's actually shocking.
Like, and the weirdest tan lines too.
How were you sitting for that too? Or is it just some of your skin just like...
So I'm on the far end, Enoch's on the other far end, so we kind of got mirrored sunburns.
So he's burnt.
My right side is
right
good.
side, I'm burnt on my left side.
Me and Connar in the middle, we look fine.
My sunburn is perfect. It's a perfect little base.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I honestly feel really
mangled.
I feel like a strawberry makeup girl.
Honestly, yes. Honestly, we were at the pool and the beach like all day today, and sweet Aaron brought a little umbrella for over his chair.
I look like the dude from the bench warmers that's afraid of the sun.
You look like a
umbrella for one.
He had like a blanket over his lap.
Like a
He's just hiding in the shadows all day.
Honestly, it was so sweet. And then he was just sitting in the shadows, but still playing football with Enoch in the pool.
Yeah, it was. We were all like laughing.
I'm like, what are you doing over there? Get in the water. He's just like,
I can't. Anyway,
still refuse to put on sunscreen.
I'm like, so this literally, I'm like, just put on some sunscreen. Anyway, that's what today's episode is about: taking care of your skin in the sun.
How to get an even tan.
Could you imagine? I wish I knew how to get an even tan. But what we love is both of us got married within like the same, I guess not like
6 months.
Like 6 months of each other.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you guys got married at the end of August. So you've almost been married a year now, coming up. Wow.
So crazy. I feel like we got married yesterday.
Yeah, it's flown by.
I say this all the time. Me and Enoch will look at each other and we're like, we got married.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you guys dated a lot longer than us. And we'll ask you, like, your story and how you met. But I know that it was, like, quicker for us. So I feel like I used to think it was just because we got married quick. But now, talking to other newlyweds, it's like, no, it's shocking.
Yeah.
It feels surreal.
It's like reality checks every here and there. You're like,
or when you
I
say,
was just 15
my wife,
and now
my
I'm
husband.
No, literally.
I was just 15.
I was like, I was just 15 and now I'm 25 and married.
It's crazy.
Anna and I were saying the other day, like, to when people say something and you used to be like my boyfriend, or now you're like my husband, and you feel like you're being like annoying. Like,
it feels like we're cosplaying marriage.
I feel like they're gonna be like, you're too young. I'm like, now your husband.
I'm like, people look at me and they're like, how old are you? And I tell them and they're like,
I get that all the time.
Do
and
you?
I'm like, yeah, considering my age.
Anna.
Like, oh, okay. But I'm consistently like, who let me do this? I'm like, I'm married.
Yeah, it's so crazy, but it's like also the best thing ever. We love it.
So much fun.
But sometimes you just wake up. I like come to out of a nap and I'm like, I'm married. That's crazy. Anyway, okay.
What?
We want to get
Every time she wakes up from a nap, she's like, what did I do?
No, it's just like, it's so crazy. Like coming, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Anyway, I guess I'm alone in that. I'm like, drop a comment if you feel. I've never said that. I've never said, like, respond to this in the comments.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you have felt that way, please. Okay, so I wanted to, like, talk a little bit about your guys' story. I would like to also say, my brother Josh is gonna, maybe he watches my podcast, maybe he doesn't. I guess now we're gonna find out.
Hey Josh.
Hey Josh.
Basically, I take credit for introducing them. My brother Josh likes to. Josh didn't even know Connar. I'm like, you are my friend. And he's like, weird. I introduced them. I'm like, okay. Because I've actually, I guess a lot of people wouldn't know this because I think everybody probably because I've just like worked with your family and like done stuff like church and ministry that we would have known each other first. But I actually knew Aaron when he was like 14.
Wow.
Yeah, met Aaron
I've known you, longer than anyone in your family, and
yeah, we met a long time
anyone
ago.
in my
He's
life
like,
now.
he's like,
More
I've
than
met
anyone
you
I've ever
longer.
You've always been my best friend.
Honestly, it's so sweet. But then you guys met. Okay, how did you guys meet?
I'll go first. Technically, okay, we thought about this because there's a lot of discourse with all the Golden siblings at our wedding.
Sure.
Yeah.
Technically, the first time we didn't actually meet this night, but you invited me to go to the North Hollywood Fair.
Yes, yes.
Cam and Aaron were actually there, and we were with a huge
Me,
group.
Josh, and Colby walked up.
But we never even talked
later on,
tonight.
and you lost your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long story short,
Yep.
we technically were together at the fair, and Josh had given me a denim jacket before I ever even met Aaron that night that I had for years and wore all the time, and I just thought it was Josh's jacket. So fast forward, probably, I think like in 2017, I ran into Josh, and we went to Cheesecake Factory after a conference with some of my friends, and I was single and ready to mingle. Yeah. And he was like, oh my God, I know the perfect guy that I should set you up with. If you guys don't like each other, I feel like you'll end up being great friends. And he was like, he's actually picking me up from Cheesecake Factory tonight. And so he was like, come down to the valet. So I start to kind of freak out and get a little nervous. And I was like, no. And he was pumping it up. And it was so weird because Aaron was in the car behind us. And I just drove off. And so.
Wow. So you didn't even meet him?
No.
Well, it was like a whole thing. It was like, come to Cheesecake and hang out. Like, there's this girl I want to introduce you to, and I was like, I'll come pick you up. Like,
yeah, that was I just ate out of the car,
and then
he was like,
pulled up, and I'm like, I'm here. He's like, I'm in the car in front of you. I'm like,
it was
okay.
It was just a lot of Josh being like, Connar, this is so weird now, and I was like, just get out, I'm gonna go. And
wow,
so I left.
Ships in the night.
So then that was I think like in October, and then fast forward to New Year's Eve, me and my friends, we decided to randomly go to Nashville. And for like a New Year's Eve girls trip, and while we were there, I posted a story, and I saw Josh's story, and he was like, no way, I'm in Nashville. And he was like, come over right now, guess who's here with me, you're never gonna believe it. So he FaceTimed me, and he's like, it's the guy you would meet outside of Cheesecake Corner.
So it was definitely Josh.
Yeah, well, but here's the thing. They wouldn't have even known, Josh wouldn't have even known nobody without me. You know
I call it a golden collab.
Yeah, but Liz, like, everyone
My
had really
God.
important parts, because basically from there, it was funny. I was wearing the jacket that I got years before, and Aaron was like, is this my jacket? Like, after we met, we had like a game night and hung out, and
Well,
he was
Like,
like,
how does she have my
he was
jacket?
like, it looked
Yeah.
like I was
Actually,
probably a
kinda so
stalker.
sweet.
And
Kind
he
of
was
sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
But it was kind of creepy because like we had just met, and then I'm wearing, and Aaron was like, hey, where'd you get that jacket? And I was like, I got it from a friend. And Aaron knew because it'd been passed around. He's like, no, seriously, where'd you get that?
That's actually so funny.
It was his
That's a community jacket.
Yeah. And then you guys met and hung out.
yeah. Oh.
So were you guys like friends at first, or was it
here's the
always
thing.
like
We
this
kissed
romantic
that New
vibe?
Year's Eve.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, and so
Oh.
And this is where I get a call that they've kissed on New Year's Eve. And at this point, I'm like, no. It's like when two people that you know start dating and you're like, this could be so bad. Like, especially because I know that sounds so horrible. It had nothing to do with you guys.
Give some
I think
context.
everybody was just so young
Yeah.
that it was like the shot that you guys were gonna then date for the next 5 years and then get married
to your
seems slim.
to your credit, I had never. She's my first girlfriend.
Yeah,
So like I'd never been in a relationship. You
were having a good time.
I assume
you were having a good time months prior, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I
I'm like,
assume-
what do you mean by
I
that?
just assume that you're protective
Sure.
in both sides in a way.
and I was
For
just
sure.
a little homeschool girl who was coming fresh out of a long-term relationship, and
Like
Oh,
all
yeah.
three of you were.
And I'm like, I know the person who's definitely not gonna be weighing the odds is my brother Josh. He's just gonna throw anybody. And
he
so
was
I'm
like, this could be something crazy.
yeah. And so I'm like, I can't even remember where I was. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? But then, wow, I was wrong.
Yeah, well, so we
Here we are. I'm here to say it. Get that on camera. You love that, huh?
Yeah, that's good.
Make it your
We
ringtone.
went to. So after that trip, we actually didn't even know that we both lived in LA. He thought I lived in Nashville. And so we both go back to California, and we kind of just have this little friend group that's like, they do every single thing all day together. We would go to Starbucks like whenever Anna was in town. It was like Liz, Josh, and then we came over to the Taft house. That was like what the house used to be called.
Yeah, my house in LA was pretty like infamous. All my siblings lived there. We had some friends that were living there. I was also like traveling pretty much full time leading worship, so I was like very in and out. But I felt like every time I came back, someone new was staying in the house. Like,
and there were so many rooms, so it would be like the girls, like Kara, Liz, me, and then everyone would just be like coming. We all had like different places, but it was just funny. We were
there was like
literally
a guest house. It was honestly, it felt like a sitcom. We could have made a sitcom out of that.
Like
100%.
Friends. It was literally like Friends, but
and Aaron had an apartment like
Just 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah, so it just felt like everybody was always
And
together.
I also like worked there.
Yeah, literally, it was literally like, and our friend who was a producer was living in the guest house. So anytime Aaron would have like a session, because Aaron is also an artist, would come to the house. So everything felt like super like a sitcom. Like we had one set, and this is the only place we could be. And
Sounds like
hang out.
it for sure.
and that's kind of the whole gist. But we got back to LA, and then we all started hanging out. But it was kind of like Aaron was like, "Oh, you live here," and then I was like, "Yeah." And obviously, in my head, I'm already like, "We're gonna get married."
Like we're literally gonna be together.
Aaron acted like he didn't like me for the longest.
I was terrified of being in my first
He'd
relationship.
Be like, yeah. He would be like, so basically the friend group, it was like that situation where you really like someone, but I thought he would never want like a girlfriend. So we would kind of like not talk together in group settings. And then like it would end up like people would be like, all right, I'm going to do that. And then it would be us two alone and we'd talk. But then like in front of everyone, we would like never hang out alone. And then one day we were all supposed to go.
But we all knew.
Yeah.
So this they're acting like, oh, no one ever could. It's like, we all knew. Yeah. We all knew you guys liked each other.
Also, the first night we met, I was like, Josh, that's my wife.
Oh.
Wow.
Sweet.
That's cute.
That is so sweet. Did you do that with me or? I'm just kidding.
Like, hold on. We already had those episodes. You guys go back and watch those.
Oh, that's sweet.
This is where Liz comes in, though, because it was a thing where everyone knew we had a little thing, but neither of us would tell each other. And one day, Liz was like, "Drop the act. We all know you guys talk. Like, all like you would like each other. Like, what is this weird vibe?" So basically, we kind of just ignored that. And then one day, we were all supposed to go to Starbucks. You were in town, everyone, and one by one, everyone started to bail. And you have to understand, like, that was one of our one times of hanging out in the day. So, like, you've never seen me more in love with going to Starbucks. Like, it was...
Yeah.
Like, let's
my
go to
dog
Starbucks.
would come. Everybody would come.
So everyone started dropping, like, flies. And then I was like, oh. And I think it was Liz or Anna or someone was like, you guys can still go hang out and go to Starbucks. Like... we all know you like each other. So we went on like our first little date, just us two, and went to Earth, Starbucks.
Got me a rug.
Yeah, he was like trying to flex, bought a restoration hardware rug.
I remember this.
Well, no, what happened was we went in there and the dude was like, would you like to see the teen section or something? And I was like, no, I want a rug.
There's nothing. There's nothing that will get you to spend way more money than you ever should have spent. Is someone doubting that you could afford it.
Yeah, they were like, you want to see the kids' rugs?
That's definitely a sales technique,
So Aaron
though.
just
It
bought,
has
like,
to be.
$1 trillion rug, and I was like,
works.
"Are you sure you like it?" And he was like,
She's
"I
like,
want that
oh.
one."
She's like, oh, so you're red.
It's like a rainbow rug.
I was like, "Oh."
Also, the rug ended up being like awful. It shed more than a dog.
Yeah.
It was awful.
That's wow.
Shout
You heard it here
out
first. Honestly,
So-
our rug at home sheds a lot.
yeah, we
Yeah.
just kept hanging out, and then
Yeah.
I think it was.
April 15th.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh my god!
He's
I
got
didn't even
dates.
know the
He's
date.
got date
He
and
showed up
time.
ready.
He's giving
April
scripture and
15th,
chapter
on the way
and
back from
verse.
Coachella, I was just like,
That's so LA.
yeah.
Yeah.
I looked
Yeah.
up and I was like, oh, it's a pretty night. And I was just like,
Y'all's first date was Earth Cafe, Starbucks, and Restoration Hardware. This whole relationship has been so
So
LA.
this was like an 8-hour date.
Yeah. No, we didn't
oh,
go to
no,
Coachella
this is,
right
this
after.
is like time passed. Like,
Oh, okay.
the first date.
Now it's April
The first like
15th.
kind of date was like,
when did
earlier
we
on.
when did we go to Australia?
March.
Was it March?
Yeah, but the thing is, when I went to Australia, I was like telling everyone, like, yeah, me and my boyfriend were in love, and Liz and Anna were kind of like, Connar, you're not dating. Like, what are you gonna do if he doesn't end up asking you to be his girlfriend? I was like, doesn't matter.
You guys literally FaceTime that whole entire trip. So I was like, in my mind,
sweet.
you
When
guys,
it made sense to.
Yeah.
Time change was wild.
In my mind, you guys were already dating.
Same,
Yeah.
and we were. It just wasn't like.
Yeah.
He wouldn't ask
Same.
me to
Was
be his
it
girlfriend.
April 15th when you guys became official?
Yeah.
No, not really, because
April
I
fi-
told
well,
you.
Yeah, she said no, yes.
Oh, why?
She was like,
You have to ask my dad.
you have to meet my family.
Ask my dad.
Really?
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
like a thing.
They were
Yeah,
like,
that is a
she was
thing.
like, you have to like meet my family and like,
Yeah, that's
they
good.
need to vet you.
Was that? Did you guys meet on Easter?
No, that's when I met Carissa.
One of Connor's sisters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you didn't meet the whole family yet.
No.
Okay.
When
I met her whole family at Carissa's baby shower was our first like official. I pick her up
Like
from her
15
house.
cousins were
so
in
she has
town.
her extended family in
Wow.
town.
Family reunion.
Yeah.
And I pull up to the house like, you know,
Me and Enoch
you
over here
give your,
just giddy listening to this.
Yeah, I'm just
you know
picturing
how
it.
you like you pull up to the house and you're like, all right, you're like kind of like hyping yourself up. You're like, all right, I'm about to go in. Like you usually have that time to like
Sure.
by yourself.
Yeah.
I pull up, the car in front of me has its taillights on. And I'm like,
Oh, I remember.
who,
this.
what?
Tough.
And then I park, and then obviously I'd like seen her family photos, and then out walks her dad with holding Luca, and I'm like, I have to get out right now, and I just parked. I did have
He had no time to pray,
I had
get
like
himself together.
I had like a 2-hour drive down, but like
And my dad
zero
is- if
time
you
to
don't
like be like,
know-
all right, let's go.
He's so shy and awkward,
And
so
so-
he didn't turn around. He was
Yeah.
like
get
we're
out-
watching from my bedroom.
I
Like,
get
also,
out the
there's a
car.
whole window of girls
Yeah.
above that, like looking out the window. Like I think the
So
Hans were there.
I
and
get
my
out the
mom.
car because I'm like, I have to get out right now and like say hi. And so like I get out, and then there's like a 15-20 foot gap between us, and I shut the door, and then he just like turns and he's holding Luca, and I just like I wave, I'm like, hi, and then he just turns back around and kept walking.
No, that's awkward.
Were you just because you didn't
That's
know
so
him
tough.
at this point? Were you
No.
just bummed?
No, I was like, it just anxiety. I
Of
was like
course.
stressed.
Like, he
I was
hates
like,
me.
oh, he hates
The
me.
funniest part is like I'm still getting ready, and I don't know why they're acting like I was like 12. I was like 20 at this
Yeah,
point.
that's the
Like,
other thing is I look up. There's a window of 15 people watching me.
You
This
could
whole
be
thing
45.
happen.
That's so funny.
You could be a 45-year-old woman, and all of your friends are going to be looking at the window for the.
Yeah, they
It
just want the
doesn't
tea.
matter.
It felt like a prom thing because once I walked in, there's a circle
Connor's
around the
walking
door
down
of
the
Literally.
stairs.
Yeah.
She has like her like all their family friends, their cousins, everyone's in town because it's
Connar
again
is
it's
going on
Carissa's
a
baby
date.
shower
Is
for
this
Leo.
is this old house in OC? Because there's like
Yeah.
a staircase in the
And
front. That's so funny.
the staircase, it goes
There's someone on
goes-
each staircase.
Connor, Ellie, Sophia, and Helena, Charisse.
I think
And Carissa.
and then some of my
And-
cousins were there too.
Yeah, and so like everyone walks out, and then they're walking down the stairs. I'm like, this is like a like,
Debutante.
My
Yeah.
dad though, this is the funniest part. Like we're upstairs getting ready because my dad and mom came in and they're like, "You're wearing that?" Because they're go comfy. I was wearing
That's
sweatpants.
so tough.
And my dad was like, "Connar, guys don't like this stuff. Like you gotta like do your hair."
my mom all
Shut
growing
up.
up.
Yeah.
He's like, I need you to try.
We're going to Disneyland, so they're basically like, "No, you're changing." And
They're like, wear your ears, wear your jean
Yeah.
shorts. We're going to Disney.
so I hear the drum set downstairs, and Dad was like, I guess he was like, "You do music?" He's like, "You know how to play drums?" Because Luca
You're
used
kidding.
to love drums, and I was
Oh
like,
my
"Oh my
God.
god,
It just
Aaron's
keeps
like
going.
lied out there."
He's making you
it
perform.
keeps going.
I was like,
He's like,
Aaron's,
"Play."
yeah, Aaron's lied and said I thought he lied and said he played drums, and Dad was like, "Go play some then."
He's
And
like saying,
Come
"We
on,
will
show in
rock
the
you."
garage.
so he's doing like
I'm
small.
like, oh, you
Like,
have
dun,
a set
dun.
in the garage.
He was like, "Do you play drums?" And Aaron's like, "Yeah, I can." He was like, "There's a set out in the garage. Go play it."
I am
And-
nauseous.
Like, prove yourself.
Yeah.
What was that like? Were you like nervous, or were you like bucking up kind of?
I was like already nervous, and then he's like, oh, you play music? I was like, yeah. He's like, drums? I was like, yeah. And then throw the curveball of being like, oh, like there's a set in the garage, let's go. I'm like, oh.
It's like,
And
are
then
you
it's
a
like,
liar?
what do you just play solo on the drums? So I just like I started playing the drums. Like I played the.
He's
playing like
No,
jazz. You know those jazz movies where they're just going crazy.
You want to know what I played?
That's not a song.
I played. I think it was like "Hurricane" by Need to Breathe.
Of course.
Oh my God.
It was the first thing I learned on the drums, and then
He's like, you know, Toby Mac.
and so like I'm in the garage,
like, "Is that
and
gospel?"
then I look over, and it's like every single one of her family members.
I'm
packed in the
out
garage.
there.
They're like recording.
And then
you.
No,
see-
she was. My mom was recording him walking in there. She's like, he's a
I don't know
doll.
Charisse at this point. Like I hadn't like officially met her yet.
So
and so
funny.
like I look and I just see a phone being held up in the back like this. So she like filmed it all, and I was like,
Your mom.
I haven't seen the video still.
They also
I
have
wonder if
like
she has it.
never seen like I feel like all the other girls in my family like had boyfriends and stuff, and I was like so shy about that and didn't like never like they've never seen me like super affectionate with a guy or anything, so they were kind of like they thought it was funny. It was more like a teasing thing, so they were literally all filming and they're like, oh, look at them, he gave her a hug.
I honestly feel like my family was like that with me.
Yeah,
So that's so funny though.
It's because you
I
guys are
love-
the youngest, probably.
yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, looking back, it's funny like knowing everybody and like knowing everyone's personality.
Well,
so at the
sure.
time, I didn't know
if you have
anyone.
no context to
Yeah, let's
who
give some
anybody in the
context.
family is,
Yeah.
but it's like so funny. You're intimidated. Dad's like, go play the drums for me. Connor's dad is a pastor, also an incredible musician. So it's like
A great saxophone player.
very intimidating.
But also he like acts like he's Simon Cowell because he's like that was pretty good. And he's like,
Yeah.
he's like after Aaron does
Yeah.
it, he's like, well, you guys have fun. And then he's like giving me a like literally like I'm about to walk down the aisle. They're like hugging me, videotaping everything.
It's like your rhythm's a little off.
it's like you can work with a metronome a bit. You're like, what? That's so
Yeah,
funny.
he's pretty serious.
He's like, yeah, practice makes perfect.
They're like, yes, sir.
Is that your impression of him? He's gonna hate
No,
that.
no.
Go ahead and give him an impression.
I feel like I need to
Yeah,
have
don't
a
do
drum
that.
set
You
here.
went
Don't do
practice makes perfect.
Stop.
that your impression?
Mine wasn't an impression, but that was.
Okay, so after you met the family, then you guys became official?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was like the condition. She was like, yes, but not until you meet my family. So I guess like there was never like a, okay, now we're official. It was like, okay, I asked her April 15th and she said yes, but
Yeah, I want you to do this.
yeah.
So then after that, it was just like,
He literally from there he came to Georgia for Forward Conference and then came on my family vacation with us like back to back.
Like my
So-
next time meeting everyone was a family vacation.
okay, so for context, Connor works at a church, her dad's church, and they run a pretty large youth conference that is like everything all at once. A Forward Conference is a conference I lead worship at pretty almost every year. And so it's like so much going on. Connor is like bossing it, running every single thing, every single detail. So like you coming
I'm
into that.
wandering around, not knowing a soul, just
he met my brother for the first time
Yeah.
that weekend.
I remember this. Me and Josh both came. I was living in South Carolina, and
oh yeah, me and Josh were in a room.
yeah, because I think Etienne asked me to lead worship, and I couldn't be there for the whole whatever. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna come to night one, and you were there, and it was like so funny seeing you guys like dating, seeing the world coming together, and I'm like, and so with ministry. Did you have even like you grew up saved and you had like but you didn't see that like kind of involved being in ministry in that way. So it was just kind of probably
Yeah.
like so many things you were taking in.
Yeah, it was like I grew up in church. My mom was on the praise team, so I
Yeah.
was like at church 6
Well,
days
I didn't
a
know
week.
that. Okay, Becky.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got a voice on her.
Okay, let's get Becky on the pod.
But yeah, like I grew up, I was in church like more than I wasn't.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I love that.
then came out and like moved to LA and didn't really find a church that I
Yeah.
That's
felt like
tough.
yeah. And so
LA's different. It was different.
fast forward to
beast.
that, it was like also like she had told me, she was like, yeah, I like direct this youth conference, and I was like, I couldn't picture it in my head.
Sure, I feel like if you grew up in like a very normal church context,
Yeah.
it's like
my,
church,
my
youth
church
camp.
my church didn't do that. Like I
Yeah.
went
It was like an
like we went
entire
to
arena.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we went to, it was called like Camp Bethany, and like
Sure.
That's sweet.
Some
And
random
everybody has
y'all were
sandwiches.
middle of the
and
nowhere.
it's like-
Y'all were in the woods by
Yeah.
campfire,
Like,
singing Jose.
cabins, and that's really it.
and this is like in arena.
Yeah.
It's
And
insane.
I did have to like leave him alone. I was working
Yeah,
the
like
whole
I was
weekend.
I was walking around.
People
like,
are coming
by
up to him
myself.
like, "Hey, Aaron, I'm Connor's." Da, 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 da," like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like just round 2 of vetting.
Sure. Now
Yeah.
you're meeting the grandparents.
Yeah,
Because the whole
meeting
family's
everybody.
there.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
wow.
then yeah, it was just a lot going on, but it was so nice to have Josh there because
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like cool, like someone I can like
Yeah.
talk to and like kind of
Little more of a
not
comfort
have a guard
person.
up,
Sure.
Yeah.
and just
It was
like
like
be
a
able
buffer.
to, yeah.
So I'll ask both of you this. Because you guys dated how long before you got married?
5 years.
5 years.
yeah,
just
and that was
past
like
6.
That's
my
nuts.
that was like
6
my
of
deadline.
like dating, but
I was like, something doesn't change here. Like,
She was like, it stops at 5.
Well, you also started dating when you were like, what, 20?
yeah,
I was 19.
yeah. So like, I always said I wanted to get married at 25,
Wow.
which is it's because your brain's fully developed.
That's good.
That's
Frontal
sweet.
lobe hitting.
Yeah,
And you're like, oh, we're all here now.
Yeah, like oh,
Game's all
I'm
here.
married.
Oh.
But no, well, I kind of forgot about that, and then someone gave me a little card at one of my bridal showers, and I was like, "That is so funny." I used to always say that I wouldn't get married until I was 25, but
Well.
yeah, 5 years. Honestly, it was like so long. Like I was waiting for it for a minute.
I remember all this.
Yeah.
When would you guys both say you knew each other was the one? And how did you know?
My approach to even dating has always been like, I'm dating you fully intending to marry you. I'm not gonna like date to be like, we'll see. Like it's like I can see us having a life together.
Right.
And so I'd say like pretty early on I was like, yeah. And then it's just like as times go on and your relationship is tested, it's kind of like, okay, we made it through this and like we can work together to through anything. And so like it's just like over time it gets strengthened and strengthened and strengthened, and so you're like
Just getting stronger, more evidence.
it's like I knew pretty early on, and then you have like your own life problems, and
Just kind of seeing
through
what the other
that
person
it's like
is.
confirmation of what you think.
Yeah, that's good. What about
So
you,
good.
Connor?
I feel like I was like, I'm in love the first night I met.
Connor was like, I need a minute.
Yeah. Well,
Man,
I
I saw him.
mean, not like the minute, but I feel like I'm the same way. Didn't just want to like date forever, but I had just a feeling we just went so easily into each other's lives, and I always wanted someone I could do like every single thing with, like day to day life, little stuff, and it just like fit like a puzzle piece like so fast.
Yeah. Honestly.
So I feel like not like it sounds cheesy, and when people are like, if you know, you know, but I
We
think
so
you know.
real.
I think you
Yeah.
know
We
there's
said that.
potential. Like I could definitely marry this person if they
Right.
like, you know.
We said that on our marriage podcast because I was always convinced that I would like have to be drugged down the aisle.
Yeah, me
Like,
too. I thought
Yeah.
that for you as
Or
well.
like compromise.
I think everybody thought that about me.
Yeah.
And the fact that I was like running. And I was like, truly is like
That's
you're
sweet.
Yeah, like when you know,
Yeah.
you know. That was sweet, huh?
That was very sweet.
You should
But yeah.
write that into a song.
Okay.
She's got a couple songs.
About Enoch.
Do you guys
He
need
loves
a
that.
minute?
No, but I wanted to
going on
ask.
over
So you guys dated for 5 years, and you both separately had like your own worlds.
Yeah.
Like you had like the ministry stuff, and like I guess the modeling stuff, the acting stuff, and
Artistry.
you had music. Yeah. So like, what was it like practically combining those two worlds?
Well, when we lived in California, like I said, it kind of just worked because I was still like with my agency and stuff and doing all of that. So I feel like that side was good because we both knew like that side of that industry.
We didn't have to explain the
Yeah.
industries,
Right.
Like
the church
different
world side
dynamics.
definitely.
Culture
no,
shock?
No, I had to really explain the church world side.
Well,
I was
that's
like,
real.
I'd be
Yeah.
like, when we would go to, we used to go to like a little church on Wednesdays with our whole group, and I'd be like, hey, like some people here know my dad, so I just don't want you to like hold my hand or anything.
That
like,
part
'cause
of the
people are
church world I did not understand
I don't
whatsoever.
think any of us do.
Because
Still.
actually,
Yeah.
my dad.
Same.
And I don't think we should.
And yeah, exactly. Like church is one thing for me,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
how
I
it
didn't
will
want him
always be.
freaked out. Like, I was,
But yeah, she's like,
Yeah,
Shout
because
out
I
to
think people can like on look, especially when like ministries are large or like your dad's written a lot of different books, like people are really impacted. So I think I think you were trying to be protective about how other people perceive your family.
Yeah.
And not wanting it to be like being close with your family. That's not the vibe of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, other people might feel like we look like celebrities or our life looks interesting. But to us, we like love church. We love people.
Yeah, it's normal.
And it's very,
Right.
you can tell the heart behind it all
Yeah.
so easily. And like, that was no issue like whatsoever. Like for me, like seeing that, I was like, okay, this is like pure.
Yeah.
And like, that's
sweet.
not to be confused. It's like very easily seen. Like you see through example. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
Beautiful.
too, though, that was probably the one thing was like explaining different. I actually love that he didn't grow up in that world
Yeah.
because, or like he didn't care about like I remember there was like one pastor we met and like just the way Aaron introduced, like, hi, my name's Aaron, like would go up to like like, you know, those like younger, like I guess like well-known young pastors, and Aaron be like, hi, I'm Aaron. He's like, no, we've met. Like just like normal like people they're like in the church where they're like, hi, it's good to see you. Like act like a fan, and Aaron's
They're
like,
like,
what's that
man of
guy's
God.
deal? And he's like, why is he acting like he doesn't remember me? And I was like,
Everyone's like, you've been my hero since I was 2.
yeah.
It's like,
And
oh,
Aaron's like,
God.
so what do you do? Like
It's like, what are we all doing here?
Yeah.
My brother Josh is so similar in that, and I brought him to a conference that I was doing, and the pastor came out and was meeting people, and he was like, hey man, like pastor was so kind, like, hey man, I'm so happy that you're here. I think this was like Mike Todd's conference, and he was like, so happy that you're here. And Josh was like, man, what was your name? I'm so happy that you're here.
Literally.
And I think Mike,
He's
the
like on the billboard.
Yeah, Pastor Mike just like loved it so much, and he was like, I love that. He's like, you had no idea what you're coming to, huh?
That's so beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah, because it's like, it really is. There is nothing to be, I guess, impressed about. And I think most of the time it really is people and good hearts behind it. It's like you've been so impacted by something. I mean, even when like people come up to me and they're like, talk about my music or something like that, and they're like, man, this like changed my life. I have the spiritual maturity to know I didn't do anything to change their life. It's the power of God working through me.
Right.
But I got to be a part of it by being a vessel.
Yeah.
So I get to be who they get to see in the flesh and be like, oh my gosh. And it's that now it's my level to steward what they're now coming to me with. And so, and I think your whole family does that so well. And
thanks.
I see it as like a respected thing.
Yeah.
Like I respect you for allowing that to be done through you. And like,
yeah. Wow. Okay.
It's
So
beautiful.
then you guys got engaged. And then Connar and Aaron had the best wedding I've ever been to.
Me
Obviously,
too.
besides our own.
I was like, hold on.
I obviously, our weddings couldn't be more different. Like literally on every single level.
Truly.
I think we can both respect the fact that, I mean, it was just really different. But y'all's was like the royal wedding. Honestly,
I
our
had,
whole
like-
friend group felt that way. It was like,
But I also feel like there was so much anticipation because we have been dating for so long. People have been like, oh, it's happening. Like
for sure. I mean, they've been dating
we built
for
up the hype for a while.
And I just have the personality where like everyone knew I was like, you know, some people like really want to intimate. Like I knew exactly what I wanted. I was like, no, 250,
and your mom and
250 people.
get Connar and Charisse on anything. It's going to be
Goodness.
fantastic.
Just so extra.
It was literally like,
Find
maybe
every
we can
detail.
even put in photos. The wedding reception, I mean, it was at the Biltmore and it was so stunning.
It was so pretty.
But the wedding reception, like if I could bottle that up and give it to
the
people.
feeling, the sounds,
feeling.
the sounds
smell.
of like the.
I'm so sad you couldn't be there.
Me too.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
seemed like it was a good time. I'm happy for you guys.
Tried to make it. Anyway.
Yeah, I had to be back home.
Yeah, because
I was busy.
It's like, I had something better to do. Okay. But it was like the sunset was perfect. What
was so
everybody
pretty.
was wearing. Like there was nothing. I feel like nobody was stressed. Like it was just so, well, maybe other people were
yeah,
stressed.
there was some stress.
There was probably some stressed people. Meanwhile,
my
I'm
mom
like,
probably.
I was having a great
Meanwhile,
time.
Anna's sliding
I was
across
just-
the floor.
You guys, at the reception, reception. I would also like to say before
I
a
have
little
a photo.
anything.
Can we put in the photo?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
I would like to say
got
before
scars.
anybody can get a little sneaky with this, it was a dry wedding. Okay.
Yeah.
There was no alcohol.
None.
It did not. It wasn't that I was like, oh no.
I'm proud of you guys.
We're all
Everyone was just stoked. Like
literally
it was
having the best time.
just off the vibes.
Also, we had
That's all
no
that mattered.
phones, so no one realized like what time it was. No one knew what was going
We're
on.
all like in
That sounds
I
like a
didn't even know
blast.
this was going on.
floating. And here's the thing.
I'm
okay.
getting so jealous.
So the wedding is so stunning. Everybody's crying. Connor's dad marries them, which makes everything so much more emotional. And it's just like, oh man. And then we finally get to the wedding reception.
And you sang.
Yeah, I sang a song, church I grew up in. It was so sweet. And then we get to the reception and it's like shoes are off, everybody's dancing, having a good time. My siblings, and you guys will soon figure out, they're all so crazy. Like all four of us together are so intense. So then randomly my brother Josh, who is also in the wedding, comes from like behind something with a stick, like a broomstick with no head on it. So just like a long stick. And he's like, limbo. And it was like, okay. So then like we're all doing now a limbo line. And I'm like, we all go through it. And Josh, like I come back around. I'm like, Josh, go lower. He's like, lower. I'm like, lower. I keep screaming lower. And I was like, I'm going to like knee slide through underneath the limbo like bar. I slide, and I'm in like a long black silk dress. The dress code's black tie. Okay, it's not like it was like very formal, but I had no shoes on, and I slid for a little bit on my knees like with the dress, but then my like tops of my feet caught like the dance floor.
The waxed dance floor.
I can
was
feel
like-
that on my feet right now.
Like
You should-
rug
the
burn
photo's
times
painful.
100.
She still has scars.
I literally don't even know if I could put the photos in of my feet because it was
They're
like
brutal.
trigger warning.
Yeah.
I still have the scars. Like you can see, this is so. Aaron the other day at the pool was like, "Is that what that's from?" It's almost been a year.
Yeah.
The scars are so bad on my feet. The tire tops of my feet rip off. But I'm like,
I just picture like a basketball court sneaker.
Yeah.
that's exactly what it
That's
sounded
the
like.
sound.
But what it was to everybody is like it just caught, so I just stopped. And then like Josh
like, "Why'd
looked
you
up,
stop?"
and everybody's like cheering, and I'm like, something happened. And you know, there's like that gap where like
Before the pain sets in.
embarrassment is morphine.
Right.
That like you're so embarrassed because something just happened. You're like, I feel no pain. And so I literally bop up, and like my dress being floor length like hits where my feet would be, and I was like, oh god. I looked down, I just have open wounds. I was like, you've got to
My
be
God.
kidding me. And I was just so embarrassed that
That's
I said
crazy.
nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
And
Of
that
course she
night-
plays it off.
That night I like went back to our Airbnb and like called Enoch. I was like, my feet, I think something's wrong. I think
I'm
something's
like, and I'm busy.
oh yeah, because remember Enoch was too busy.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
That's incredible. Well, other than the limbo, what was y'all's favorite part of your wedding?
Probably.
Aside from like actually getting married.
aside from
Yeah.
getting married
Yeah,
and
like,
like
of the
the
event.
moments, but I'm like such a friend person. Both of us are like friend. It was so cool to have every single person from different friend groups all there and watching all of your favorite people.
Yeah, that's a dream.
Especially in a magical setting like that. And I was like thinking, like I think about it all the time. Oh, we'll never get all of those people back in the same room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so
Yeah,
crazy.
so
to
it was
think
so
about.
fun to watch. I was like watching everyone else. Like we were having an amazing time, but like watching like everyone. Like I was loving the seating chart. Like was like torture for me, and I was thinking way too
I know it
deeply
got
into
to a point
it.
where I was like, Connor, just start putting names down.
Just
But
like,
honestly,
throw it.
I perfected it so hard, like that. I was like, "There's not
My
going to be
table
one
was
bad
great.
vibe here."
I loved it. I was like, I think I was across from my siblings. I was next to like Aiden.
Yeah,
It was fun.
yeah.
yeah, that was probably the like favorite part, and just like I loved speeches, words of affirmation.
Oh yeah, that was
Love
so sweet.
speeches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speeches
That
were
makes
really
every
sweet.
wedding.
I have like two different instances. One of like just myself.
Yeah.
And then one like obviously with Connor.
Which one is yourself?
One
This
is
so
like
sweet.
is when I first walked out before she walked down the aisle, I was like standing at the altar and just facing everyone.
Yeah.
And it was just similar to what she said. It was like wild to like look in everyone sitting down and being like, I know every single person that's here. And
Wow,
like
yeah.
you're just looking at everyone that loves you and like is supporting the relationship, and you're just like looking at everyone's faces, and you're just like I was just like had a moment where I was like, thank you God for like all these people And I was like, this is
It's a
insane.
casual airplane going over. The way all
That's
of
crazy.
our eyes just widened, like, what is that? And I was like, oh, it's airplanes. Sorry,
Car
Aaron.
looks at me like,
Airplanes?
what's wrong with the audio?
Airplanes?
Freaking
Please keep going. On the way here, the pilot gave Aaron a Delta trading card, and we're
out
like,
of nowhere.
we're like, Aaron, did
He
you
loves
just say you loved
airplanes.
airplanes?
Yeah.
I'm like, they normally only give those to kids. Okay,
But,
so you had that
yeah,
moment.
it was like just like looking out at everybody, and it was like just wild to like see that, like just have that moment where you're just like looking at everyone's faces and just like everyone's so happy. And then the second was like we did a first look, and strategically so we could get our photos done before the wedding.
Yeah.
And so it was like fun getting to like hang out before, like, and it didn't take away from seeing her walk down the aisle.
It was like a moment just for y'all.
Yeah.
And like every other shot, I'd just like look at her and I'd just like break down. I'm like, this is
Dang.
insane.
That's so sweet.
That's special.
And so then our little first dance before everyone went into the tent was
Oh, yeah, that
sweet.
was
Oh,
cute.
yeah. That's like, I love that you guys did that.
Yeah, it was so cute.
What song?
Lover.
Of course, Lover, Taylor Swift.
Of
They-
course.
Well, they.
Let's talk about Taylor Swift.
No. They,
Enoch.
Me and Connor just debate all day.
because before everybody came, we were all at like the mocktail hour, I guess you would call it then, and we're all just like taking photos. Them by themselves went to the reception before everybody else and did a dance, which I just think is so
That's
sweet.
so sweet.
And it's
Yeah,
like
it was. And it was my first time seeing the reception. So like
Yeah.
they had been like, do you want to see photos throughout the weekend? I was like, no,
Man,
I don't
that
want to
looked-
see it, because they started getting set up prior, like a lot prior to the wedding.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to see anything. I wanted it to be like the first time we saw it was that moment. So our wedding planners like brought us in. It was so cute.
it was so stunning.
No, that looked magical for sure.
Everything's Enoch's like, yeah, it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't there. It's all right.
It's all right. And then the honeymoon.
The honeymoon.
I know. What
Then,
did you
the honeymoon.
You guys went to St. Lucia, which
Okay,
looks so
the
beautiful.
honeymoon was pretty crazy because I felt like I was like, are we allowed to do this? Like,
Yeah, it was like
because-
what you were saying. It's like,
And here's the
who's
thing.
No,
letting us
I mean
know?
like go on
Who
a
signed our
trip
permission
just
slip?
because that was the first trip Aaron and I, we've been dating for 5 years. We never gone on a trip, just us two. And
Yeah.
so like,
It was like I looked at her like right when we got there, like we wake up and I
It's
was
like,
like,
we don't have to be in separate rooms.
like we really
I'm
feel
like,
like
Aaron, do you want to go sleep on the couch?
it's like it's so crazy.
I was like, we're full on adults now.
Yeah.
But I also felt like everyone at the place we were at like was thinking the same thing. Like, what are they doing here? Like,
no, I literally am like, oh, this is when we were on our honeymoon. It felt so crazy.
Yeah.
Of even just like this was
Sharing
our
a room for
first
the
time
first time.
flying together, and then we're
Yeah.
like in a hotel by ourselves.
Yeah.
I was
And it's
carrying
like-
the passports, both of ours. I was like,
Okay,
Just
yeah,
feels so
man.
weird. You said it the other day when I was like, what's your favorite thing about marriage? And you were like, honestly, convenience.
yeah,
And it's like the fact that like it feels weird, but it's like now I don't have to go home like at
yeah.
dang near 1 a.m, half asleep.
or
It's
just like when we would go on vacations with our friend groups, like
We took up so much
we would
space.
like Aaron would end up on a couch somewhere,
I'm
like half of
sleeping,
the.
like,
It's always so
corner.
much more expensive.
Because
Yeah.
I would get a room and then like they'd be like, oh, like it was just a known thing with any. They were like, well, where would Aaron stay? So it's like so funny.
It's like,
No,
oh,
that's so
I have a
real.
friend that lives 45 minutes away.
No, it was like that,
That
every
was
time.
always
For 5
for-
years.
That's always the case.
For Enoch, it was literally always the case of someone who lives 45 minutes.
was
away.
always
It's like,
a
what do I
drive.
look like driving
I know,
that? So
that's why that one time I was like, I'm down to drop Enoch off because I know.
Yeah, that one time. I'm like taking an Uber after like a late game night.
Yeah, it is very convenient, but like the honeymoon was just so funny because I was like, I can't believe we're on a trip just us two.
Mm-hmm.
And then
It's nuts.
yeah,
that's so crazy. Do you now feel like very married, like it's so settled in, or do you still have moments where you're like, oh my gosh, we're married?
I feel like it's settled in, but I do have some moments where
I
I'm like,
still have moments where I'm like, whoa.
why'd you say
Wild.
it like that?
That's crazy.
Because it's like a you ever get those, like, I don't know, it's just like a random moment in time where you're just like,
No,
It's like,
I
yeah.
Like you're- like,
whenever
it's
I
like-
wake up from a nap, remember when I said that, and everybody was like, "That's
Right.
crazy for you."
no, it's like
I
I'll
feel
just
like,
like randomly have those things where like it's like
Aaron's like, why?
it's like a reminder, I guess, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know how to.
that's real. I
explain
feel
it.
like you guys have a very interesting perspective because you dated for so long.
yeah,
Sure.
And it's like, I guess I would ask, like, what's the difference now that you're married since you guys dated so long?
Besides, obviously, the marital covenant.
Right. Besides
and the things
all
that
the
come
fun.
with that.
Fun. Probably the biggest thing is I've never lived with anyone, like, besides, like, my parents, but, like, not in the same room with someone. So there's certain little things, and I have, like, little ritual, especially messiness. He's so clean. Like, and then, like, I'll, like, turn the room into a tornado. I think it's, like, tiny things like that was, like, oh, this won't feel that different. But then even when we came home, we were at our parents' when we came home from the honeymoon. I was like, oh my God, which room are we gonna stay in, like, when we get back? And it was like a joke, like, Connor's gonna end up being like, oh, stay in my room, see you later.
It's literally, it's that part of things is so interesting because you are so used to you.
Your
like,
ways.
Also,
You're
like,
so used to you.
It was like the thing, it's like we're not sleeping in the same room, so it's like at night it was just me, and now it's like
that's real.
Now it's like both of us.
Now when I wake up, I'm like tiptoeing and quietly shutting the door.
I don't do that.
I don't either.
I'm a pretty heavy sleeper.
I'll be like, wake
if I get up
I'm
first,
awake.
I'm like a ninja.
See, and I feel that way too, and I'm sure most wives feel that way. I wake up very early.
No, Anna gets woken up at like 5 a.m, and she thinks that I'm called to do that too. And I'm like, listen,
I was
we
like,
live two
isn't this
different
why
lives.
I got married?
No, because
We're hanging out
more
right
of a,
now.
I'm more of a night out. She'll knock out at 10 p.m.
That's
and so
something
I'm
new
up till
for me.
like midnight or
You
1.
guys, I don't know about that. Let's all start praying about that for me, because I literally been falling asleep so early, and I think it's because my contacts have been bothering me, and I'm just like, I'm ready to knock out, I guess. And then I'm up at like 3:30.
All that
and
information.
So I don't. They want to know.
It's like my heart rate this week.
Guys, print my contacts.
Here's the thing, you guys. The Nuggets want to know. That's what our fan base
so
is
cute.
called. Yeah, because of Golden Nuggets.
Chick-fil-A sauce.
We're gonna have a
Wow.
podcast very soon where we all eat nuggets.
You guys, and I
Low
know that I
nugget
probably
theme.
shouldn't say this yet, but we're working on merch for the Nuggets.
I guess
and
we
we're
are.
so excited.
We were thinking about merch. I guess now we got to work on it.
I've been working on it. Anyway, so all that to say. when
she wakes me up at 5 a.m. She was like, "Want to hang out?"
That
I'm
is
like,
marriage. That is marriage. And my question is always, when are you going to be awake enough to talk?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I need a
'cause he'll
glass
just
of
be-
cold water.
He'll just be like, and I'm like, I'm trying to get
That
these
is-
thoughts out of my
I've
head.
got
That
like
is
Kid
real.
Cudi hums.
The stuff with like being married now, like because you're with that, like we did everything together every day, even like when we were dating. We probably only spent like 3 weeks apart the whole 5 years we dated. Like
That's crazy.
total. Like
That
we
is so
literally.
we do like everything
Do you
together
guys
all
get
day.
tired of each other?
No, and that's
I mean,
another reason
we
why
get
I was
annoyed
like,
sometimes.
That's
you're
special.
one person that I can spend this much time around. And
Aaron's like,
I'm
never.
cool.
Connor's like, we can get annoyed.
I just need like sometimes I just need like 30 minutes.
That's
Yeah.
real.
That's literally every
Yeah.
It's
human
usually like the
ever.
30
Like,
minutes
even
though when I'm
when we
like, you're
fight,
mad at me.
It's like 5 minutes later, you're like, "Hey."
I know. We do this thing where I'll like reach over and just unbuckle her
That's
seatbelt.
if
Yeah.
there's
And we'll just
tension.
break.
Boo.
break
But we don't
character.
really want to talk about it. Like if we need to break a fight, like it's like we'll unbuckle each other's seatbelts and it'll be like,
You guys just
Like,
open the car.
We need something like that. Yeah.
Everyone
What if
lives
you're
so
not in the car?
Right. It's
Everyone
like,
lives
let's go to
so
the car.
far. We'll just like
Let's get in the car and
Let's
put our
get in the
belts
car.
on.
no. I saw this.
That's like, I'm the man of the house. Let's go to the car.
I don't think I've driven much at all since we started dating.
That's
It's
a big thing.
I don't
And
even know if I
I-
got my license renewed.
No, I don't think I'm
Anna
going to.
has
Mine
driven
is-
once since August.
Yeah, and
Or
it's not a
twice.
part of my personality. I don't like driving.
Me neither.
We-
Who
she
do I
drove.
look like driving?
We got into Atlanta last week, and she drove for like 10 minutes. I'm like, pull over right now. I thought we were gonna die.
Aaron says I have like anxiety attacks. Like he was like, your whole vibe changes for
She's
the
a
entire
stressful
day.
driver.
If you have to drive, like
She's
Yeah.
like she's not a bad driver, but she's stressful. Like I'm stressed.
Yeah, he
Watching.
gets
Right.
stressed when I drive.
Well, you just drive like you have no care in the world if we survive or not. She's just like swerving all
if
over.
I perish,
Connor's-
I perish.
She's just like
Esther.
on her phone. I'm like, babe.
Connor's the opposite. She has every care in the world. Like she's like like there was
Little
one
too
time there
tense.
was like a box, like a cardboard box.
What?
In the middle of the highway, like 2 football
I
fields
started
ahead. And she's
crying.
like,
Connor sees a bird flying by, and she's like,
you know, I started crying on the freeway with the box, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm gonna pull
Wait,
over."
that
Like,
is
just
actually
shoulder.
so funny.
yeah, no.
I was like, switch lanes.
Okay,
Women-
I love this. I also last night we were at Walmart. This is like late night. I wanted to get a book to read by the pool today, so we decided to go to Walmart, and then we also got some games. Honestly, I feel like we've been having such a fun little vacation.
Yeah, we
It's
have.
been super chill. Love it.
not everybody you can vacation with, but we're having a ball.
That's another conversation.
Yeah. I'm like, so everybody say 3 people can't vacation. That's so crazy. But there's this like, we're not really strangers. And what's more romantic than being understood? Wow. That's what the bottom of this says. And there's 3 phases of these. So I feel like we should all take turns. Because it's like you ask to your significant other.
game.
I can
Okay.
start just to kick us off. So level 1 is
So are you
perception.
asking me?
Yeah, I ask you.
Okay.
And then you pick a card and you ask me, and then Connar, and then Aaron, and so on
Gotcha.
and so forth. Ooh, okay. What assumption did you make about me that turned out to be right?
Oh, I think you like things your way.
He's like, you're a brat.
Yeah.
like, so-
Yeah, no. I mean, not the brat part, but that
Enoch?
you like things your way in a way of like you've lived some life, and then you're also a very wise person.
Thank you for saying
And so,
that.
yeah, since even when we were friends, I always felt like you had a very healthy perspective
Of me?
and just of life. So, yeah,
Oh, okay.
Your way.
Well, I'll let that my way.
You
Well,
turned that one around.
yeah.
You like
That was
that? Yeah. All
here,
right.
I can just pass them. I mean, like, it's so hard. Let me just pass everything. Here you go.
Am I asking Aaron this?
Yeah.
Okay. What about me first stood out to you physically?
You have a great smile. I love
That's
your
sweet.
teeth.
Oh.
You have great
Wow.
teeth.
Thank
That's
you.
so sweet.
Teeth are
You guys got
important.
a sweeter question than us.
Definitely. Mine was so hard.
I know. Yours was like,
Mine was
careful
like,
how
hold
you
on.
answer this.
No, this is reflection.
Mine was like,
Not my eyebrows.
all right. What was I wearing on our first date?
What were you wearing?
Yeah.
What would have been our first date?
I don't know.
That's so
Nashville.
Nashville, really?
Yeah.
I remember when you drove up, you were wearing a Harley Davidson shirt. You were wearing
Okay.
these like navy
Wow.
slacks and then your white New Balances.
Look at
because
you.
Because
We were so nervous.
we were so nervous.
We were acting like we'd never met each other.
no, literally. That's
You
like
do
you have
that
to
a
think.
lot. I feel like, not you guys, but in general, like even like on the honeymoon, that's like,
No, literally. And also,
Yeah.
like the first look on our wedding day, you
Oh
would
my
have
God.
it's
thought
so
we'd never
awkward.
known each
It's
other.
like you're like I waved to Aaron and I was like, ooh, why am I waving
you
at
get,
him?
you get
like,
back to the
hey.
hotel, you're like, hey, what are you doing over there? Come here.
You're like, do you want water?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. That's
You're like
so
overcompensating.
funny. All right, Aaron, this is yours. That's so funny.
How would you describe our first date in one word?
Ooh.
Sweet.
Huh.
Yeah.
How sweet.
Disneyland. It was like so cute.
Wait, wouldn't it be the
Okay,
8-hour
Earth Cafe.
date?
Yeah. Oh, that day. I feel like I guess technically, yeah, that is our first date. Yeah, probably sweet too because we hung out like every day, but like I was like, oh my god, are we gonna run out of stuff to talk about because not everyone's here?
Sure.
And so we're at Earth Cafe, and like we'd gone there with like Josh and like so many people like every other day. We're like, oh,
Now
so like
it's
what are
just
you
you
gonna?
guys.
I'm
what are you
also
gonna?
like awkward.
Yeah, it's like,
when,
well,
like,
what are you
when
gonna
I'm
get?
nervous.
Like
No,
we
you're
were
not.
asking each other, what are we gonna get? We both know what both of us get to Earth Cafe. Like we never even look at a menu. We're like both looking at menus at the restaurant, and it's like in the
That's
line.
It's
so
like, I don't know,
funny how that
I might
happened.
switch it up this time. Yeah.
Okay. Wait. Did I
Take
pick
your
from the
breath
wrong side?
Yeah.
I'm like,
wait, what did that one say?
no.
And I was like,
What was the last? Wait. This is. Oh yeah. I grabbed from the wrong level 3. Guys, there's levels to this. Okay, we'll get there. Back to level 1. Oh, did you ever stalk my social media before we met? If so, what stood out? I know you did.
that's a great question.
Why am I getting the hard-hitting questions?
Pull up the photo.
Stop.
This stood out.
I think
Yeah.
I definitely noticed that you keep every single picture from the existence of your Instagram.
Okay,
Her
we'll
Instagram
park
goes
it
back
there.
to 2003.
We'll park it there. Why does everybody delete their Instagram feeds? I have nothing to hide.
Yeah, that's
I
so
never had a
true.
weird phase.
So-
I never had a phase where I was saying weird stuff online. I was like,
It's not that you just
I
like
kept everything
her
alive.
feed goes back to like when you were a kid.
Sure.
Did you go
Okay.
all the way back?
So
and
any
scroll?
snooping, it was just
Obviously.
endless. It was endless. I'm like, okay, that's what she was doing.
What stood out to you? That
You had access to the archives.
I have nothing to hide.
Enoch, what was the photo like if someone, okay, like this girl that you would pull up on her
Oh, like the
Instagram
photo
and
you
show?
showed.
Oh, when you had just dyed your hair brown, you were wearing that blue shirt. You did a
Yeah.
little photo shoot. You sent it to me. Yeah, that was the one.
When can I photo shoot?
I was sponsored
I
by
said
my
she was
hair
wearing the
salon.
blue shirt.
I was sponsored by the hair extension company and the hair
No.
salon, so I had to do
That one's
photos.
so beautiful.
Wow, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm pulling from the right side. Here you go.
Am I asking this one? This
Yeah.
time? What's my go-to Postmates order at the moment? I'm a Postmates addict or DoorDasher.
That's like a perfect question for
Yeah.
you.
That's real. That's practical.
that I order frequently right now.
I think we all know that one.
There's a few ways I
Aaron,
could go about it.
I already know one that I order.
Oh,
like,
Chipotle.
yeah, with what on it?
White rice.
No.
Not
You don't
do?
even know me at all.
Rice, lettuce, 2 salad dressings, side tortilla, the red sauce.
Yeah.
This is getting.
Wait, I don't know if I want
That
my
one's
meal because
spicy.
my meal is really weird.
Yeah.
No
Wait, don't
one's
you
judging you for your Chipotle
Isn't
order,
yours
Connor.
like meatless?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
rice, cheese, and lettuce.
I'll do it meatless
different.
sometimes because Chipotle, every
You
now and
never
again,
know.
it's
Chicken's
Man, when they
chewy.
scoop my chicken, I get so mad. I'm like, really? That's it?
What was gonna be the other one?
Is it my turn?
I was gonna
What
say
are
like
you
something like
laughing at?
Instacart.
I was, well, this was crazy. Anyways, I thought y'all were gonna say like Outback. Y'all are big Outback people.
No, we
I love
are.
Outback. I'll
Definitely
stand by
hit-
Outback
No,
forever.
but we
Bloomin'
we
onion.
like to go to Outback because the
Bloomin'
bloomin' onion
chicken.
doesn't taste the same
Like, I
when you get it
love
to
the
go.
vibes in
100%.
Outback.
Same with Olive Garden. You
have to
can't
go
DoorDash Olive Garden, but we live in a little town where there's only a couple chain restaurants, and so it's
Just a
Chipotle,
little white
Outback,
town.
or
Church I grew up in.
Olive
The
Garden.
steeple
White church on a hill.
Literally. All right, my
Should we go
question.
to number 2?
Yeah, we can do this question. It's kind of crazy. What did your friends think about me when we first started dating?
What did my friends?
Yeah.
Which friends?
Let's.
All my friends in
I'm like your
Dallas.
healthy friends.
All my friends, all my friends in Dallas were like obsessed with you. The minute I even came back from Georgia and like landed, because I was on like a sabbatical in Georgia and it was my birthday, and all my friends, even though I didn't come back till like the end of July, still threw me a birthday party. And they're like, you seem so different. Like, you're so happy. And I was like, it's Enoch. And they
Had her glowing.
they all just like loved you
That's sweet.
because of how I was acting already. And I mean, I think they're all obsessed with you.
And it's like because of me.
I'm like, they loved
Yeah.
you because of me. But
You
anyway,
do
it was
much for
like,
me.
it was actually so sweet. Here you go, Aaron.
Last
This is the
level
last
one.
one on level 1.
How important do you think gifts are to me? Explain.
Aaron, you love a little gift. You don't like ask for them, but when I get you stuff, you're like, "Girl, did you get this for me?"
Well, no, my thing is I'm like, another one?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
She gets
I remember that during
she-
Christmas.
Yeah.
She does, I think, 100% of my shopping now. I hate shopping. So like when she buys me clothes, it's like
New wardrobe.
a new like season dropped.
You
Wow.
you love little
No,
gifts.
and I love it. I think it's so sweet because it's a lot of thought goes into it. She's like,
You're
That's
very thoughtful
yeah,
with gifts.
she's
That
very.
is that's like how what's it called, the love language, where like how I
Yeah.
show love. Mine would be gifts
Oh,
or
okay.
acts of service, I think. Like, but I love that's kind of what I'm known with my friend group too. I'm very like
You're
very
very
good with
intentional
gifts.
and you're very thoughtful.
yeah, but you do like little thoughtful gifts, but I feel like you also love, like, if I'm like, look at this little skim shirt that I got you, like, you would never buy that, so it's
Yeah.
like
I think that's literally just like the husband experience. It's like, man, I would have never thought to get this for myself,
Yeah.
but I'm in love with it.
it's like
now.
socks.
That's real.
Literally.
It's
Yeah.
like white
Oh,
socks
I'm
from
a sucker
Target.
for a good pair
Every
of socks.
Skims drop.
Weren't we all going to go shopping for socks tonight or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
Married things.
Literally, we're all so excited about it.
We just want socks.
In what way, this is now number 2, which is connection, level 2. We're leveling up. In what ways is this relationship unlike any other?
Wow.
Ooh. I think, honestly, I want to spend every second with you. Yeah, I don't get tired of you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's honestly so true.
And,
I
like-
feel like me and you could share the same body.
Yeah, we can do everything together.
I said
It's a very
something.
weird way to say
I said
it.
something
I almost
so
just spit
crazy.
water all over all of you.
I said something so.
And it's like I could be inside you right
I said something
Oh
so
my
crazy the other day. I don't know if we'll cut this out, but I was like,
We're not cutting
Enoch.
this out.
I was like, Enoch, if it was like science progressed in such a way that my body like deteriorated or died, but they could upload my consciousness into your mind and we could share your body, would you do it?
These are the questions she's
like-
asking you at
she's
5
like,
a.m.
Imagine Anna becomes the voice in my mind.
waiting.
I'm like, and Anna's mind is already running at a billion.
You sure
miles
about
an hour.
that? You sure?
I was like,
Aaron.
you'd never move on. Are you kidding me? I'm in there. It's like, did you just look at that?
No, and it would be like, Enoch, I'm bored. Can we go do something?
Literally.
It's like 4 in the morning.
Wake up. Wake up. I'm like, why are we asleep?
Yeah, that voice in my head
Anna,
would
that
be
is
crazy.
so funny.
Those are the questions she's waking you up to talk,
Yeah,
to talk about.
exactly.
Literally.
What's one way our relationship has gotten better over time?
There's an obvious answer of like we get to know each other better, like our preferences and things like that, where you just like already know, like, okay, like I know what coffee you like, and I know your Chipotle order. So if you say like, oh, let's get Chipotle, and or if I like went to go pick it up, I could easily order your exact order.
This is like a sweet question. You're answering it like practically. You're like,
Well, that's what I'm
like
saying.
I fill up the gas.
No, I think-
it is sweet, but it's just funny the
Like
way you
as a it is a practical answer of like
How you got better over time is you
daily
know each
life.
other more.
Yeah, you
Right.
know each other more, and
No,
like,
it was
you know
sweet.
every
You
single
understand
preference.
preferences.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like the thoughtfulness is like second nature.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. My turn.
Yours is a long one.
What's something we used to do at the beginning of our relationship that you miss the most?
Oh my gosh. That's like something
Did
we've
your heart
lost.
just break?
You just spiraled.
I don't know why. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
like,
like,
what am I missing?
What have I missed the most from the beginning of our relationship?
Honestly, I can think of something.
Really? Well, it's for me. The question's for me. But if you'd like to jump in, if there's something that's been
Go ahead.
burning and missing.
No, I'm gonna just see if we're on the same page.
Something that I've missed from the beginning of our relationship. I don't know. I think I love so much how our relationship is now. I don't think I miss it, but something I loved in the beginning of our relationship was like how new it was for us and getting to know each other and being long distance, that it forced us to be so communicative, like on the phone and like in our everyday life, like making sure. I think now, even like when we would see each other like get off the plane, it was like when we saw each other, it was like, oh my gosh, like the idea now that we get to be married. I don't think we take that for granted though, that we get to be in each other's space all the time. But I think maybe like the miss would be like you picking me up from the airport in Atlanta or something like that. Like those kind of moments, or like when we're about to get on the plane and we haven't seen each other for a second. Like I kind of miss, I guess, that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
But I feel like we still get that because like when we travel without each other, it feels like I'm dying.
That's real. Yeah. Love that.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
That's sweet.
This is Aaron, right?
I just did one.
No, you answered one.
I answered one. That's what it was. How have I changed you for the better?
Wow. That's so sweet.
I know, it's like a hard one to think about. Probably just like you are like a lot probably nicer than I am. And
Soften you up a little bit?
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like it softened me up. But also like when I feel like when you get married or you're in a relationship, you're like a lot more sensitive than I am. So it's changed my perspective on like certain things. Like I'll say or like, oh, I don't like how you said that, and I probably would have been like, wait, what? Like before, and now I like think about not just with you but with other people.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's sweet.
Like his like sensitivity. I'm not saying
It's
that
not.
in the negative
It's
way.
like a. I don't hold an ounce of my emotions back.
Yeah. And so he's very outspoken with his emotions. So that's probably helped me, like, because I'm never mean anything like intentionally. Not saying I'm
Yeah.
like mean or whatever, but I wouldn't even realize like that.
I get
Not
what you're
as-
saying.
So
Not as aware.
it's made me like more sensitive how I treat other people and how things can be taken.
Oh,
Sweet.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thanks.
So good.
All right, we'll go to level 3, reflection.
Level
Wow.
3.
Oh, wow. It says, this one is so sweet. This level. Finish this sentence. I'm proudest of you for blank.
Dang. I'm proudest of you for, I think, honestly, your humility, your endurance, but also like how patient you are with me. I think there's a lot that you've just kind of let God just like do in me, even in the last 6 months. And you've been like the most like kind and patient person to like just let me figure it out.
Oh, that's so beautiful. You're not.
I'm proud of you for that.
I love you, Peanut.
I love
Crying.
It's so sweet.
What do we have in this relationship that you never thought was possible?
Oh, wow.
They say when you get married, you become one, and it's not like that resonates different than I thought it would, because it feels like you're an extension of me and I'm an extension of you in ways that I like. You fill in the gaps of like you fill in my gaps of like for the better. Like you were like an extension of things that I didn't even know of myself. Like if I don't know if that's making sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I feel like it's vice versa. Like I feel like we're an extension of each other, where we are a unit together.
Like covering each other's blind spots.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That's so beautiful, Aaron.
And like people always say like when you're married you become one, but that was a different perspective
Yeah.
shift. I feel like I expected something different of that.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Dang. So good. What's a superpower of mine that perhaps I'm aware of?
You're unaware?
I'm unaware of, yeah.
A superpower that you're unaware of? I feel like you have so many. I can think of so many. I think one, I don't think you realize how much people like love you immediately when they meet you. You like bring such a sense of like genuine, like one thing I loved about you when even we first met and then when we started dating is you're not like starry-eyed in the sense of like you're not like, you don't see people unequally. Like you meet anybody and you treat them all the exact same. Like they're the star of the show, which I really love that about you. And you make
Stop.
everybody feel so special.
Oh,
and I
stop
like,
it.
you don't believe it to me. So you don't believe it sometimes when I'm literally like, we go anywhere and everybody falls in love with him. And it's also like,
Talk
Even-
about the nail salon. That was my favorite thing I've heard in a
the
while.
people at the nail salon, this is inevitable. Anytime we go get our nails done, I get my hands and my feet done. Enoch just gets his toes done. By the time I'm finished with my 2-hour appointment, they're just still doing Enoch's feet. But they're also wrapping his arms in towels. They're giving him masks for his hands. They're giving him shoulder massages. They're putting like heating packs on his shoulders. I'm looking over it. He's
Yeah.
in bliss. They're
There's like
changing
4 of them.
They're changing the music for him. They're like anything, but that's like everywhere we go. And when we go to Orange Theory, all the coaches are like, "Hey, Enoch, are in love with him." One of them calls him Enoch, which is so funny.
Enoch.
They're like, "Hey, Enoch." But I think that's such a superpower that you have.
That's so sweet. I love you. Thank you.
I love you. Okay, Aaron, last question. Level 3 for you. Unless you guys want to do more level 3s. These are so stunning.
What's one thing you'd never change about our relationship?
Wow.
Like the driving situation.
Yeah,
She's like,
honestly,
how giving
I
you
was
are.
so
Probably
ready for that part.
I love the little task you do for me. If I'm like, Aaron, I need a charger. Never want to change that. Don't ever stop doing those little things for me.
She's like, it's the little things. The way you fold my clothes.
No, probably how much time we spend together. Some people are like, don't do that in relationships, but I love
I
doing
can't
like
even imagine that.
like some people. You
Like
know, some people
literally
are
a
like, you guys
collective
do
of probably a month that we've spent apart.
But I'm saying I like all the little like some girls be like, should we go do this? I'm like, I want Aaron to come.
I know.
Not in like a toxic way, but like
I always say this all the time. I'm like, I feel your presence missed whenever you're not in the room. And it's not like, I'm going to die if you're not in the room.
Yeah.
But there's always like you would make this room better for me.
I'm
if
always
you
like,
were
this
here.
is boring. Where's Anna?
Yeah. I'm like, it's always like a desire.
I feel
and
that.
I feel like,
Same.
like, I want you to have all like the guys' nights you ever want to have. I want me to have
Same.
all the girls' nights, like all those things. But it's the perspective of like, this would be even better if you were here. Not like, oh God, what a drag if they showed up. It's like, don't marry that person. If you feel that way, be free. If you feel that way about who you're with, they're not the right person.
You need 3 guys nights a week.
I always prefer to, like, if I have a choice, she's with me.
Yeah. We were talking to some of our friends who have just such a beautiful marriage. We went over to their house for breakfast the other day, and we were like, I feel like growing up, people are always like, oh, the first year of marriage is so tough. It's so hard. And I was like, or even just like marriage is hard. And I know that we're so young into this and we know that there's going to be like harder times. But there's times where I'm like, I think you guys didn't marry people you liked. I'm having a ball with him. Like we just, and obviously we're still so new. I know people who've been married for a long time.
Definitely.
Like, don't you wait. I'm like, okay, don't wish that on us. Yeah, don't wish that on us. But no, I think that's like marrying someone that you love. Obviously, feels like a no-brainer. But or even
That's
that you just like hanging out with and being around and all those things. But
special.
Guys, this has been such an honor having you guys on the podcast.
It's been fun.
Every time we finish up a podcast, we do this thing called the Golden Nugget.
The Golden
Nugget. Little nugget
also,
of wisdom.
the sunset has been setting as this is going.
Oh, it's so pretty.
I know.
I've just like slowly been getting more and more like.
We did lose some lighting.
I know.
Aaron's
I'm
like
like so
horizontal.
sorry to our YouTube listeners and watchers about the lighting. Guys, we're dialing it in.
I realized halfway through that it got darker in here, so I'm like, we're just gonna keep it going.
Okay, it's fine. Okay,
We've got the second one. Hopefully,
but like Enoch
sustained.
was saying.
Oh yeah, the little nugget of wisdom, something that you guys would leave the viewers with, I guess, regarding everything we've talked about.
Yeah, to summarize.
Marry someone
Yeah.
you like.
We've already said that.
Have we said that?
I think so. That was
But
that
that's
was
a good
one of our relationship podcasts.
Really?
Mhm.
Marry your best friend. If there's something, it was like a nugget or even just like wisdom that you guys have even in your first almost year of marriage have known. If you're like, oh, if I could give one sliver of advice.
Probably like with relationships, I think like obviously like it's important to have people around you that you can like turn to, but to kind of trust your heart and like no one knows your relationship like you.
Yeah.
I don't know if that
So
makes
good. I
sense,
like
but that
that.
would probably be my little gold nugget.
No one
like,
knows your relationship like you.
Yeah, but like some people are
But
like
still, you're the people you trust, like, and can listen to their advice and opinions.
Yeah.
But I mean, like some people, like you guys, like it worked for you guys to get engaged and married really fast, and some people wait, and every relationship is different. And so have like wise counsel, but that
That's
would probably,
real.
but
That's good.
Wow.
Guys,
Love that.
I don't know if it was.
That was so
A lot of
good.
pressure.
No, that was really good.
No, that Connor, you know, that was it.
No
That was
one
a
knows
great
your
golden
relationship like you. That's the thumbnail.
That is good.
Yeah.
No one knows like you. Guys, we loved having you on here. We'd have you on here a million
You
more
guys did
times.
really good.
Let's
Oh,
This was
thanks,
so much
keep
fun.
guys.
going and have a part 2, right?
Yeah.
Part
Guys,
two,
I feel like
another
we're
hour.
gonna have to act like strangers for a second once this is over. We're like gonna go.
We're like, be like, hey, what are you doing over there?
I honestly want to keep playing this game. I think it's so
We
fun.
might, yeah.
But we love you guys so much.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks
for being
having
on
us.
this
Love
podcast.
you guys.
And
Love y'all.
to all of our viewers and our listeners, we love you guys. We're so honored that you guys would even just take the time out of your week to sit down and talk. Our prayer every week for this podcast is you to feel like you're just talking and sitting down with some of your very best friends, whether you're driving in the car or you're getting ready or wherever you listen to your podcast. Maybe you're sitting at your desk. Just know that there are people that are praying for you, that believe in you, that love you, and you are not alone in anything that you are doing. You have a couple of best friends who are cheering you on, and we love you so much. We will see you next week. Bye.
See y'all.
Bye.
Goodbye, Golden.